Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Tom Hanks was on the mound Friday for the Cleveland Guardians game. It's so weird to say Guardians because it's their new name.
Like, what minor league team is this? Like, no, that's actually their team name now. The Guardians.
So I'm assuming it was their opening night because a lot of teams, you got to return home after being on the road starting the season.
Right.
And threw out their ceremonial first pitch. And he brought with him Wilson, which, of course, is the painted volleyball from that movie Castaway, which, by the way, is 22 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, congratulations.
He doesn't look a day over 15.
Yeah,
Wilson.
not at all. Will Wilson. All right, now, it wasn't actually the ball from the film, because this one had a Cleveland Guardians logo on one side. And here are the play-by-play announcers talking about Tom Hanks throwing out the first pitch with Wilson.
Tom Hanks is going to throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And how about Tom Hanks? He's got Wilson with him. Yeah. From Castaway.
And now, give a warm welcome.
And now Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. That's Wilson, the volleyball.
Is he going to throw Wilson?
I don't know.
No, he's got the real deal.
Right there.
He just brought Wilson with him.
Yeah, Wilson
kept rolling off the mound, too.
It's a windy night in Cleveland, apparently. Yeah, Wilson was like, I'm out of here, dude. I had to be on an island with you for how many years? I'm out. Oh, yeah. And it was like a comedy routine. It's just every time he was getting ready to throw the ball, the Wilson would blow off the mound.
Some thought that maybe there was a remote control in the ball.
Looks like it.
There might have been, because it's kind of like moving around like BB-8.
Oh, you're right, dude. That's awesome. Oh, that's a great piece of comedy.
That's a good bit, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the wind. Yeah. Oh, that's really... All right. I'll give him that. They fooled me. I'll give it to him. And, of course, the cool thing about, usually when a guy throws out the first pitch, a lot of times he hangs at the game and then joins the broadcasters in the booth, and that's exactly what Tom did.
Second inning here in Cleveland, no score. What a treat for us. Tom Hanks joins us now here in the booth. You've been in some of the biggest movies in Hollywood. You got a couple of Oscars. You've done one-man stage productions.
He'll never pass up a free ticket to a ball game. It's one of the perks.
How does the anxiety compare with throwing out a first pitch?
I've been sweating this from the moment I said I was going to do it. There's something about it. It's been a while since my elbow has been up above my shoulder, guys.
That's awesome, getting to have Tom Hanks hang on the broadcast booth with you.
It's true, and it's very awkward to watch, because they got to talk to him, and they don't know what to talk to him. They hope that the guy's a baseball fan, but it could be some awkward conversation between announcers and then some big celebrity that's in there, and but at least it seemed like he was a baseball fan, so that's cool.
I'm glad he took a break from crashing weddings to join them.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, no one was getting married during that day there, BJ.
Yeah, no, that's what happened. And I know, Steve, there was a guy who works for San Diego, Don Orsillo, who is the San Diego Padres announcer. He loves to get selfies with all the big stars that come in. They make fun of him so much for that. He's like you, Steve. And you'll hear that in the booth sometimes long before the guys even, we're going to have Tom Hanks in here, Don. You got your camera ready? You sure your phone's okay, Don? You might want to check.
That's
just
awesome.
Because he's such a selfie, lover to get with all those dudes.
In all fairness, I don't like getting selfies. I like awkwardly asking someone else to take the picture for us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, and a lot of the guys would be like, who's going to take the picture? Because I think everyone's going to be busy. And he's like, come on. And everybody.
You guys know this is my thing. Tom Hanks is going to be in the booth.
Yeah. So, but look, I can't lie. If it's Tom Hanks, I'm going to ask someone to take a picture. I'm going to do it.
So the Mariners, they had Ichiro, I think, throughout the first pitch.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool, right?
And everybody was talking about what great shape Ichiro was in. And I think Julio Rodriguez talked about how impressed he is that Ichiro still goes through the same, very similar routine that he did when he was playing. And that's probably what keeps him in great shape.
And he threw heat. And he was wearing he was wearing his jersey. They said it is 2001 Mariners uniform, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think Ichiro's very proud to go, dude, I probably could come out here and still be better than some of these people.
Did you see the other thing that was spreading on social media? And it's actually one of the guys that listens to our show is part of it. A bunch of fans cosplayed as the 95 Mariners and went to the game.
Really?
Oh, dude. And
I didn't see this.
Someone had the bald cap to look like Jay Buhner.
That's awesome.
Dan Wilson, the catcher? He was in full catcher gear or catcher.
I love this. Look at this.
Randy Johnson was a part of it. Edgar Martinez, quote unquote.
Man.
And they had the full-on uniforms on, like the teal blue tops with the white pants and the cleats as well.
Oh, dude. Oh, the cleats. Wow, they're really into it.
The guy cosplaying as Griffey had his hat on backwards, of course.
Dude, that's fantastic.
I thought that was really cool. And they're like, yeah, we want to try and make dressing up as going to sports games, cosplaying at sports games a thing. And I was like, that's pretty brilliant, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I love wearing like a jersey that means something to me. You know, not just like a regular jersey, but it has some. So I love that everyone's going into the full cosplay mode now.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool thing, especially like the long hair Randy Johnson going on. It was awesome, man. Some people are giving him a hard time about it because they're like, oh, well, you guys are still celebrating something that happened back in 1995. I'm like, yes, we're Mariners fans. There's not much else to celebrate, so shut up.
Okay, you know, what kind of idiot says that? Because you celebrate the greatness of your team. How many people are wearing whatever great player that's no longer playing on their team because they were part of a championship? You're going to see a lot of Red Sox fan wearing 34 for a long time, even though David Ortiz doesn't play anymore. Come on. I mean, I've got my jersey from 2004 and I have idiots on there.
Yep.
And, you know, it's really, some people go, why do you have that? And then I always tell them the lore of the fact, because you loved when your team did something great.
Well, most people are giving him a lot of love because it is pretty clever.
I think it's fantastic.
I do have one person like, dude, the Buhner guy, I mean, he should have fully committed and just shaved his head.
Wow, you know, everybody's, well, you know, the internet is full of douches. What can you say?
There you go. That's the spirit.
You know, I mean, when you go swimming in the pool, you know what? There's a chance someone's going to pee in it. You just got to live with it and just go, I still want to go in the pool.
Absolutely.
And that's the internet.
It's still hot out and I still want to take a dip.
Yeah, that's the internet. That's what you
I don't like that analogy because it's too true.
Yeah, I mean, that's the internet, man.
Yeah, it is.
Look at this. According to to Front Office Sports and CNBC, this is breaking news.
Yes.
The newest minority owners of the Seattle Kraken are Macklemore and Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes me so happy.
3 minutes ago, the Kraken tweeted and confirmed it. Welcome aboard, Macklemore and Money Lynch.
Which is funny because we were at the Kraken game on Saturday and they had a cool video with Marshawn Lynch up there. And even my wife's like, man, he's just like living it up, still being the Seattle sports icon guy. I'm like, yeah, I think it's awesome that he's doing stuff with the Kraken. And then, well, here we are this morning. Now we know why he's part owner. I mean, I guess he's a super minority owner for both of them. I think like 1%, but like still. It's still cool.
Yeah.
And it's still 1% more than I can afford.
Right. Yeah. Get some sweet jerseys, man.
Yeah.
And it's so great because then someone posted a video of Marshawn Lynch at the Kraken, the community Iceplex, and somebody let him drive the Zamboni.
Yes.
No.
He's just donutting it out there. That's the funniest thing.
Oh, he's having a blast. Look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm surprised he didn't slam into the wall the way he's donutting.
Yeah,
he's close.
I know, right?
His video's got him close, like he's going to go through the boards.
Don't talk too soon.
He's part owner. He can do whatever he wants now.
Oh, man.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. I would love to know what a part owner makes in profit. Or if it's just for fun, just to sort of, you know, get your name out there as more advertising, you know, yourself, whatever. But
yeah.
I love that, you know, I mean, it's cool for Macklemore. That's awesome. A lot of folks love Macklemore. But I love, like you said, that Marshawn is, you know, going to be visible in our community because he's one of the most beloved sports figures we've ever had.
And that's actually the big part, like Todd Leiweke said. For us, we didn't need additional investors, but the thing that attracted us to these guys was their interest in community activism through the organization. And that's a big deal because I guess they reached out about being a part of it. And so Marshawn's going to be a big part of like just trying to, like, you know, the hockey is for everyone cause, which is cool. And I mean, just what a fun personality to also have at the games and just having some fun with the team. I think that's just going to be great.
I love it.
Macklemore better perform at some point during one of the games.
Oh, right? Of course. Yeah. You know there's got to be some,
Macklemore maybe just needs to be the mascot.
Well, somebody's got to be the mascot.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, still no mascot on Saturday.
I mean, how many home games do we have left? 1, 2?
3? I think.
3? All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
some not many.
Yeah,
it's not happening this year.
It's getting close. I mean, the NBA playoffs have already started, so the NHL playoffs follow, a week or two after. Marshawn also said, quote, now being a minority owner of the Kraken, he said, I retired before I was 30, and now being an owner of a pro club at 35, I'm going to continue to count my blessings.
Thank you.
I love it, man. That's great.
It is so cool.
And if you haven't seen Marshawn on Murderville, he did a pretty good job, which was an improv-based sort of whodunit detective show.
He was really good on that one. I didn't expect a whole lot, but he was outstanding. One of the top ones.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and so you can see it for free anytime you want. Plus, it's just a great show. Murderville is so much fun. I hope they bring that back. Though I don't know the way it wrapped up. I'm not sure if they're going to, but.
Speaking of throwing out first pitches, though, did you guys see Russell Wilson throw out the first pitch at the... Yes. Screw him. I'm kidding.
I know. I mean, of course he's going to. I mean, of course he'll throw he has to. How does he not?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to imagine. If you're at was it the Colorado Rockies game?
Right.
And all of a sudden Russ comes out, how pumped are you?
Yeah, you're pretty pumped.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And it's funny. It is so funny that for the first time, I am so excited about a lot of Seattle teams, and it's not the Seahawks. It's not a knock on the Hawks. It's just the way things are going, the ebb and flow. Very excited about the Mariners as they had a great weekend of baseball against what's supposed to be a very, very good team, and they did well. Mm-hmm. Of course, the Kraken, Matty Beniers with a great goal, just showing you what the future could be like with this kid.
Yeah, granted, we're not going to be excited about this season, but excited about the offseason with the draft and then seeing what they're going to do with free agent signings and trades. It's going to be a different look to this team. Now that they kind of figure out what the nucleus is and the identity, they're going to be adding a lot of pieces to make it even better.
Yeah, I look, I don't know anything about it, but I really feel like next year is going to be a heck of an improvement. I mean, I think they were just all wrong a year off. I think they could be a playoff caliber team next year. Mm-hmm. And that's exciting. And of course, the Mariners, like I said, and of course, the Sounders always give you good into the storm. I mean, there's so many things. And of course, the Sea Wolves, they're fighting.
They're in a playoff hunt. But the Sounders they have a chance of becoming the first ever MLS team winning the CONCACAF.
So, I mean, you look at the Hawks, and I mean, it's not like I'm not going to pay attention, but I mean, it just feels like the Hawks are like, no Russell, no Bobby on the worst team we could ever want him on, which of course is the Rams, and they just won a Super Bowl and they pick up Bobby Wagner. Usually when a team wins a Super Bowl, they don't ever get anybody they usually lose big stars. They don't get big stars, so...
Hey, man, I'm pumped for Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks.
Are you really?
I am, actually.
Well,
I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I don't have high expectations, but I am excited to see what this team is going to be like now that all of a sudden Pete and Russ are going to try and... Pete and John are going to try and go back to the old ways of defense and running, and let's see if their philosophy still sticks.
Oh, here's the thing. You still need talent to do that.
Drew Lock is the future, BJ.
The drama between Drew Lock and Geno Smith... I mean, I'm excited for this because we know that both have a history of drama. That's what I'm excited about is that, it's going to be a quarterback competition.
What does Drew Lock have?
That he's kind of, people say he's kind of a mess to play with, whether or not that's true. That's what I heard when we first got him is I heard that folks were like, I don't know if he's really, and that's why they were willing to let him go. I don't think he's going to be
a star player, obviously. If he was, I don't think they're going to let him go.
And of course, Geno, it's off the field drama with him. This is not on the field drama. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what I think if it goes south, it could be very fun to watch. That's what I'm saying. And of course, we'll see what happens after the draft. We'll see if they get a third quarterback, and then you get like a 3 quarterback competition, which could be very fun.
Oh yes,
yeah.
So what you're saying is go Mariners, go Kraken, go Sounders, and
and Geno Smith is probably going go my pocketbook, Matt Flynn me. I don't care. If there's they pay him and then there's a competition and he doesn't make it. He's like, all right, sure, whatever you want from me.
I'm still healthy.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't get hit ever.
Yeah. On Friday night, we did have the roast of the unroastable, Steve Miggs. How did it go? Well, we got some highlights. I don't know how Steve did it because he's probably just one long bleep. But
there's a lot of bleeps. Highlights. There are a lot of bleeps, BJ.
Yeah. And you're going to hear some of those roast of Steve Miggs highlights at 8:17. on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, it finally happened.
Yes.
The roast of Steve Miggs at Snoqualmie Casino. I want to thank everybody at Snoqualmie Casino. I want to thank everybody that works for our radio station who just put together so many good things for us. I mean, it was such a great evening, and a lot of folks behind the scenes do a lot of hard work. So, man.
I mean, dude, it was surreal, like, just walking in there and, like, I didn't know how it all was going to be set up, and props to, like, our promotions team, and then Jason as well, Veggie Dog, as the guys in the men's room would call him. What they put together was something I wasn't it just looked awesome out there, just like how everything was decorated, and then they had a great slideshow of random embarrassing pictures of me that was running throughout the night as well.
That was awesome.
All the celebrity videos that were Duff McKagan, Mike McCready, Becky Lynch, Corey Taylor from Slipknot, who wished me a happy birthday. Come to find out that wasn't him making like a joke, because he ended it with like, I don't know who the hell this guy is. Happy birthday. Apparently he texted Craig Gass, because Craig got that video. He's like, it was his birthday, right? And Craig's like, no. And he's like, oh, we do it. He's like, no, it's perfect. I thought he was just doing that just to be like, I don't know who the hell you are. Happy birthday, maybe? Which I thought was pretty funny.
That's fantastic. We should play those too at some point. Like, you get those on there, because there were a lot of great videos and a lot of hilarious moments. But most of them are so filthy we can't hear them. I'm sorry. I mean, if you were there, you got to see a snapshot that will never be taken again. You got a special moment. We just will never be able to show these, air these. A lot of the highlights are going to be in your head.
Yeah. And even like Eli and Olympia text that says, hey, next year are we doing Ryan Castle or the roast of Miles? There's no way this could be the only one. Definitely need to roast another one next year. But the funny part was, and we mentioned it beforehand, it was a roast of me, but it was a roast of everybody.
Dude, yeah.
Especially your poor daughter.
I was shocked. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't. I kind of figured it that anyone that's probably going to get it the worst, it might be Sarah. And I don't know if Sarah's around, but she could pop in the room as well at some point, because I'd love to get her feedback. I think it was all playful, but she definitely caught the brunt end of the roast.
Oh yeah. Well, I had no idea that would be happening. I mean, I was really, because I mean, she's on the show and she's a great kid and everything, but I just didn't realize, wow, what a target that Sarah would be.
Yeah, I know she got a little more red on your face. It seemed like you got a little bit of like first degree burns on that. I don't know what's going on. It was like the roast of Sarah at times.
Seriously. And they just kept coming and coming and coming.
Okay, may don't want to use that particular,
especially based on the context of the roast. Yeah.
And then my man, J-Rubs was in the audience too, and I didn't know where he was sitting, but I kept trying to just like try to look for him and be like, I'm sorry, babe, I'm sorry. Because sometimes they'd be like, they would be roasting me, but then kind of him too in a weird way. Yeah, or just my past history,
Your past endeavors.
Yes.
Craig Gass, I think, gave it to you the worst.
He definitely did, over and over and over again.
Yeah, didn't let up at all.
No, he'd stop for a second to like make fun of me looking like Jeff Bezos had sex with a cantaloupe. I think it's one of his lines, which I thought was pretty funny and a weird visual, and then go right back to just destroying you.
Yeah, and then right back to me, and then to someone else, and then right back to me again. I was like, Craig, what did I ever do to you?
Yeah, this was.
BJ was cracking me because after every person, he's like, "You remember, this is not a roast of my daughter; it's a roast of Steve Miggs."
Yeah, I felt like people didn't get the script. Felt like it was pretty obvious in the title of the event. And look, we've got some highlights that we want to share. We don't have all the audio of all the roasters yet, but we got some in here, and there's going to be more.
Yeah, we have some tech issues. They're trying to track down some of the other clips, but we were able to find some of the roasters.
And the night did start off, at least very well. The night almost started off really terrifying for me.
My gosh, yes.
It almost ended in BJ dying.
Oh my gosh.
Like, not even kidding.
Is it in this? No. I don't want to spoil it if it's in the audio. Okay, it isn't. I mean, they said it to me, but they said, look, we're going to have you're going to go through the curtains. There's not a lot of room. But I mean, not a lot of room there was no room. The curtains were at the edge of the stage. And of course they go, but the curtains were closed. They go, walk out. And so usually you think you could walk out and you have a little stage. I was just, I don't know, something in my brain said, go slow and just find out where the thing is. Don't just plow through the curtains because you might rip the curtains down.
Right, don't come running out like a wrestler when they introduce you into the ring. Like,
yeah, and that's what I was going to do, like, I have, and I'm glad I didn't because there was no stage. The curtains were at the edge. If I'd have taken one step, I would have fallen off the stage, and that would have not been cool.
You would have landed in the first row, so maybe someone would have caught you.
Yeah, maybe.
You would have got a good laugh, probably at first.
I think I probably would have also destroyed these knees that are already destroyed. I mean, this is, I probably would have had a knee replacement at that point.
Yeah, that could have gone horribly wrong. And I remember hearing you like, whoa. And I was like, oh boy, that would have been a weird way to start this roast if we lost BJ.
Yeah. Oh God. What do you do at that point? Oh man.
Just go on.
Yeah. Just let you lay there and you can just do everything while you're just laying in front of everybody.
But luckily, I didn't fall off the stage, and I was able to welcome everybody to the roast. I do have a question. I mean, because you guys all know what a roast is, right? You know what, you've seen them. I mean, aren't roasts like for people that are celebrities and have done something with their lives? I mean, I was surprised when they said we're going to roast Steve Miggs, and I was like, why? What was the traffic helicopter for King 5 not available? You just go... Usually at a roast, you got a lot of people, a lot of great celebrities. And, we've got Craig Gass, I know, but... I mean, you can look at it one of two ways. This is a wonderful, wonderful tribute, or Craig's career is in the which... Now, a lot of you might be going, yeah, but hold on, Walter Jones is a somebody. Yeah, but really, here's the thing. Walter's agent thought it was the roast of Steve Rabel, so he might not even come out. Because I don't even think he knows who Steve is.
He came out. He was getting his vodka tonics, and he was happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was a very, and it was a fun night. He was so happy to be there. He was just, he was stoked, that we had him, and we were stoked that he was wanting to be there. That was, to me, that was really special having Big Walt there.
Especially when he jumped up and then he did some roasting, and it was great. And shared some fun stories. It was awesome.
Of course, my daughter and son. So, Sarah and Joey D's, they had to open the roast. They were the first people to go on, and I was terrified. I was like, I mean, it's good to get it out of the way, but at the same time, I thought, wow, they're setting the tone, because I didn't do much time. I mean, pretty much that was it. And, it was right to the kids. And, man, I was a nervous father as, those two took the stage and did their roast to Steve.
Well, Steve was a role model for me, but we'll see. But, we were both single in our 30s, and some say it's really hard to follow in a great man's footprints. But I say you find me a 19-year-old and I've got a chance.
Who the you think you are? Leonardo DiCaprio? Because that relationship would go down like the Titanic. Ironically, the last time Steve went on his wife was during the Titanic.
Oh! Whoa! Sarah, that escalated quicker. Even quicker than the time Steve's grandma caught him wrapped around Minnie Miggs.
I was like, jeez, these two are going for the jugular.
Yeah, they were. They started it.
We have to set the tone, okay?
I was like, oh, it's going to be that kind of a party.
Did like Minnie Miggs, though. That was a good one.
I was waiting. I was like, how soon until we get into Got Busted by Grandma? And I was like, first roaster.
Immediately.
Real soon.
Yeah.
Next up was an amazing surprise. Look, we all know Mike Hawk from the men's room. He's a great dude. But if you told me Mike's going to go up and do comedy, and I'm like, and he was backstage, and I was trying to help him out, going, dude, don't worry about it. We got you all this, because I'm like, this kid, he's never done it before. And Mike Hawk killed it.
Fox 13's Adam Gerke is here with us tonight. Former host of Metal Shop. Adam has achieved what few metalheads can, growing up. The man of the hour, Steve Miggs, ladies and gentlemen. This is an absolute fact. Steve was one of my biggest inspirations to get into radio. That is absolutely true. He showed me that you can make your own success. For example, if you can't win a legitimate wrestling title, just make one up. He moved his talents into being a dutiful father, but to his credit, dealing with BJ Shea for 16 years will prepare anybody to be a parent.
Oh, really, Vicky?
She loves that one.
Well, yeah, I wasn't too worried about Mike because he does auctioneering as a side gig. His whole family are auctioneers, and there was jokes about that throughout the night as well. But I knew he would have the confidence in front of a microphone. He just went like very traditional. Like I was like, this is like an old school comedian kind of vibe to what he was doing, and he was, I think, the only person that didn't curse.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, we could have put his whole thing up there, but it was. Yeah, you're right, and it was great. I kind of, the new wave of comics are all about storytelling, and a lot of times there's not a joke in there for a long time. I love the old school way that Mike did it.
He was having some fun zingers, and it was like a yin and yang between him and, let's just say, Miles, for instance, who when I listened to it back at the time, because I think we all had a few drinks on the party bus, and shout out to Rich and Lion Pride party buses for getting us there, but, we were all like having a good, like we were trying to like loosen up. I didn't realize how drunk Miles was until I listened back to this audio, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Miles was wasted.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They tried their best. And look, they had a plan, but then somebody snuck in some shots on the party bus that Miles was not supposed to have access to, and eventually he did have access to.
Well,
Yeah.
Ted likes the fireball, and he brought it with him.
Yeah, he did, and therefore you can thank the Ted Smith for this rose from Miles Montgomery.
Could you imagine lining up against Walter Jones, your defensive tackle, man, like the look of terror on your face, like, holy man, this is the greatest NFL player ever, and I got to line up with him? That look of terror in your eyes. Same look the guy at the Snoqualmie Buffet had when he walked in earlier. It's all you can eat, man. The guy was like, I'm never making money. We lost on the house tonight. Walter Jones is here.
Slurring his word.
Yeah, he was
so hammered.
He said F the most, I think.
But on Friday night, I couldn't tell. Like, I didn't even remember him swearing that much.
No. Yeah, he did swear a lot. I was like up there going, okay, he's, and I was like, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I was, so you have to wonder, what about the other half of the men's room? What was their state of mind? Because Thrill had to go on last.
You know what's kind of weird, man, and this is true, and you know this. So BJ came from Rochester, which was my hometown, so that means a lot to me. And this cat was working in Seattle when they hired the men's room, and they hired us because they're stupid, but they hired us nevertheless. And when we got here, BJ was already, honestly, it's already kind of legendary. There's this guy making a lot of noise, but this is true, and BJ, you've heard it. You have said this. Everyone said, man, it's weird, it's uncanny, but when you meet this guy, he looks like Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. Right? Honestly, I'm not saying this sounds shit. You heard this all the time. We heard this for months. I actually Googled what Gary Ridgway looks like because I don't know. And I see him, I go, okay. So we moved to Seattle, I meet BJ, and as soon as I see you, I'm like, man, when people say you look like the Green River Killer is offensive to the Green River Killer.
Yep. But actually, happy that that wasn't about my daughter getting railed in my house.
Yeah,
That's
me
true.
too.
Yeah. I know. We don't have the audio of Craig Gass's, although I don't even know if we could creatively edit how descriptive he was about your daughter still living at home with her fiance and what they do with the room next door.
It was great material for everybody but me.
Yes.
And probably Sarah, too.
Yeah, he's ruined carrots for me. Forever.
Yeah. Yeah, you really, that's someone who's a vegetarian and you take that part out of her diet, it's not good.
Yeah, what am I going to eat now? Great.
Yeah. Well, let's not answer that question.
Not carrots.
Craig Gass has an answer.
I'm glad I already had my carrots this morning because I forgot about that until you just mentioned it.
You're welcome.
Now, the night did end with, of course, the honoree, and that is the guest of honor, I should say, Steve Miggs, who shared a story about his grandfather hating a ventriloquist show that Steve attempted as a kid, which we've heard a few times on this show.
So, so I went up there. I had this stupid idea. I was like, oh, man, what am I going to do for the roast? I was like trying to think, and I was like, I wanted to share like how crazy of an event this was just because just to think back when I was a kid and my family and people in my life being like, you're never going to succeed in entertainment and this. And the story that always would come up as like a massive influence when we talk about it on the air was always this one time when my grandfather, he was just a very gruff dude. My dad's dad. He was a butcher. He originally came from Sicily, Italy. He came off the boat, became a butcher, and he was just tough as nails and like really not a fun-loving guy. He was just kind of a pain in the ass. And my dad and him never got along, but they would be over. And I'm like, I'm trying to win the love of grandpa over when I'm like 7. So I thought it would be a good idea because I was obsessed with like ventriloquist dummies. I'm like, I'm going to put on a show and I'm going to do a whole set and I'm going to crack him up and he's going to love me. Well, I went the exact opposite and he was just like, get the hell out of the room. I'm trying to watch a show. You're effing it up. F off. You know, he treated me like it was Billy Joel trying to ask him for an autograph. And this went on for then like years of like me trying to win him over. More often, I did multiple ventriloquist shows to the point where he actually had a conversation with my dad to be like, you need to tell your son to leave me the hell alone. Like he's and I'm sharing this entire story up on stage to be like, it's crazy to come full circle because my entire life in a weird way I've been trying to prove to my, now, you know, he's been dead for 20 years, but prove to my grandfather that I can make it in the entertainment industry. So this is like a special night. And then I said, I'm not going to roast anybody because I love all of you. And the crowd starts booing and Craig's like, no, you got to roast them. And I had this dumb idea. I'm like, you know, to bring it all full circle. And I got on Amazon and I ordered a ventriloquist dummy of an old puppet. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this could either sink or swim. But I was like, I'm going to end the show. Instead of me roasting all of my coworkers, this puppet is just going to be foul-mouthed and say every awful word that we can't say on the radio. I thought it was pretty fun. And I mentioned it to a couple people like that. And even Craig Gass said, he's like, that's the most brilliant way that anyone would ever end a roast. And I've done a lot of roasts. Like, this is just such a weird, but I think it's going to go great. But I was still nervous. I'm like, I'm doing a puppet show for people who paid good money, and I'm not a ventriloquist. I suck at it. So I set it all up, BJ, and I'm like, oh, you know, I have an old person from my past that wanted to come out here and say a few things, so I need an extra microphone and a stool. And because he's old, he's worried about COVID, so I need to put a mask on. That way I don't have to worry about doing the ventriloquist.
That's what it was, yes. Yeah, the mask was a brilliant idea.
I introduce him, and then he just starts going off on everybody on the stage.
BJ Shea! You dumb old Why don't you and your dumb kids retire? Ryan Castle, what the are you wearing? Dude, that's my boss. You look like the visual epitome of Lady Gaga putting on a on and the entire cast of Duck Dynasty, you Craig Gass. The last time Craig was funny or relevant, the Mariners were in the World Series.
That hurts me on two levels.
Mr. Johnson, the Mariners were never in the World Series. My point exactly, you dumb Craig, I'm sorry. I'm happy I got you sober.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah, the puppet called everybody the C word, including your children.
So many times.
Including Adam Gerke.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That was awesome.
I think you just said Gerke, you C word.
Yeah, exactly.
That was perfect. I will say this, though. The puppet was the superhero of the night because we had this one guy in the audience that just wouldn't shut up. And finally, your puppet, Richard Johnson, handled the situation.
I don't know what the you're saying, but I'd rather sit up here with Steve's hand on my ass than sit next to you dumb
Oh! That was a long time coming!
Craig appreciated that the most. Yeah. That guy was drunk, and he was having fun. He didn't say anything awful, but he wouldn't shut up.
No.
Even after Ted got a standing no for telling him to shut the F up.
Yes.
Oh, it was a good night.
Ted just stopped it and was like, hey, you, shut up.
Oh, it was a good night.
Hey, someone said Miles, for as wasted as he was, he did make it to the after party.
Yeah, he did.
Another person said Miles was so drunk, I thought he looked just fine. But once he started talking, I was like, oh, he's drunk.
Yeah. He made it through his routine. I will say that. He made it through his routine.
It was great.
Everybody did such a good job. I was just so, like I said, like a proud father because I was terrified for a lot of folks doing this for the first time, being on stage and having to do a roast. That's your first time doing any kind of comedy? Oy.
Someone said, hey, I'm glad to see the roasted and tear apart the entire station. That's awesome. Rock on, guys. You know, in a weird way, I think it brought everyone together because, like you said, BJ, like beforehand, everybody was having a great time, but you could tell everybody was nervous. Like how, not about what we're going to say to each other, just because none of us do this. You know, we do a radio show. We don't do a live performance in front of several hundred people in a sold out room. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that's the MC's job. And so even Craig was a little nervous because he's like, because he doesn't, he knows the people he usually roasts and all the other celebrities that are invited, but he doesn't really know everybody at the station but that well. So he felt like, it was interesting to just sit there and go, look, man, we're going to be cool. It's going to be fine. I had no idea how great everybody was going to be. I just was thinking, all right, I want to make sure that I can, do what I can to calm them down when it's really hard with all those butterflies. And everybody killed it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So good.
So I said I was 2 seats away from the guy that wouldn't shut up, and he was very annoying.
Yeah, he was.
Well,
I know.
I think we found that the puppet had it. He was just done with them.
On Friday, Steve, he did get this one right.
What singer has the hit songs Blinding Lights and Can't Feel My Face?
I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Speaking of Coke, The Weeknd.
Yes.
Call in now if you want a shot at beating Steve. 206-421-ROCK. We'll play Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I figure out who my creditors are?
People a lot of times have had a long time of not having good credit and having collections, and so they're concerned that you may be concerned that you won't be able to find all your creditors if you file bankruptcy. How will I know which collection agency has my credit card bill from 10 years ago now? And that's something that's hard to keep track of because credit collection agencies transfer your debts all over the place. But we will pull all your credit bureaus, and by getting all 3 of your credit bureaus, we'll be able to tell who has your credit and debt now, which collection agencies have had it in the past, and we'll make sure that we file all your creditors when we file your bankruptcy so that nothing slips through the cracks.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.